Okay, while I wait for my laundry to be done so that I can finish packing and leave Baton Rouge, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind a little bit ever since Wednesday when I spent the better part of the day making a recruiting handbook full walkthrough guide with everything you could ever need to know about recruiting is in there. That's in my link tree. I can't give you guys free access. I don't know how, to be 100% honest. Otherwise I would, since you're a member. But yeah, if you're looking for some recruiting advice, full step-by-step walkthrough, that's in my link tree, link in bio, or it'll be in the link in the upcoming video when I announce it to the public. But I just want to go through a couple of things. I wrote out some notes here about what I want to talk about so I don't ramble for too long, because I already tried to film this once and I just rambled for like 10 minutes. But yeah, I just want to walk through really quickly what I did in the recruiting process, and then talk about what I would do in the recruiting process in this new NCAA environment that's quite frankly a bloodbath, especially in the SEC. Like with the new roster limits cut down to 35 max on the entire track team. We literally just had 3 more people get cut like yesterday, and the transfer portal closes today. So it's a really, really brutal situation for a lot of people. Especially new recruits coming in from high school. It is infinitely harder to get recruited to a Power 5 school or Power 4 school. But yeah, so basically what the recruiting process looks like as a whole is you email schools that you're interested. Well, first pick the schools that you're interested in. That's a whole process in itself that could use an entire other video because there are thousands of schools in the NCAA. But pick the schools that you're interested in. Hopefully you already know if you off the top of your head. Find the emails to the coaches at those schools on that school's website. Send the coaches emails. Try to set up a phone call if you get a response. Try to set up a phone call. Talk on the phone for anywhere from a couple weeks to a couple of months before you set up a visit. Go visit the school. Decide if you actually like the school, and then commit to the school. That's an overview of the process. I personally emailed hundreds of coaches across hundreds of schools because I knew that I needed to be an athlete in college. And I felt like I was kind of late to the process. All of this was done over the summer of my junior year, which actually is, I think, kind of the normal time now. But 100%, you need to be getting on emailing. Let me get back on track. Sorry. But yeah. What my personal process looked like was I emailed hundreds of schools. I visited 5 schools, 2 of which were unofficial visits to Pitt State and Northwest Missouri State, which are just both like 2 hours from my house, so they were super easy to go get a feel for what a college campus looks like. Those were D2 schools. And then I took 3 official visits to Nebraska. I have a whole funny story about that in the recruiting handbook. That one wasn't ever supposed to even happen. That's where I met Nico, actually. But at Nebraska, Memphis, and here at LSU, where I ended up going. Those were where I took my 3 official visits. But yeah, just a few quick, wait for that car to pass. Yeah. A few quick little pieces of advice that I have. First and foremost, address the coach and the school correctly. Do not make the mistake of sending an email to Coach Will calling him, "Hey, Coach Brad." Do not mess that up. That immediately makes you come across as unprofessional. The coach is going to probably just throw your email away when the tagline says, "Hey, Coach Brad," and it's sent to Coach Will. I might have just switched those names around. I don't know. But yeah, make sure I made that mistake several times, especially when sending emails to, oh my God, let this car go by. It's a loud truck. I don't know how much is getting picked up by this, but yeah, I've definitely made that mistake several times. And that's what led me to make a spreadsheet and actually start keeping notes on conversations that I was having and what coaches I was emailing. That spreadsheet, again, is in the recruiting handbook. I don't know how to give it to you guys for free. I'm sorry. And along with that, as you're addressing the coach, you're going to be sending emails to multiple coaches at every school because most schools are going to have your event coach, a head coach, and it looks like I just flipped you off, a head coach and a recruiting coordinator if it's a big school. Those schools you're going to be sending So you're emailing 3 coaches at the same school. Do not CC them or BCC them. BCC is better than CC. If you don't know what that is, carbon copy, blind carbon copy. Do not CC them because they can see who you CC'd on the email, and the head coach is going to think, oh, well, the distance coach is going to respond to that. And the distance coach is going to think, oh, well, the recruiting coordinator is going to respond to that. And the recruiting coordinator is going to think, oh, well, the head coach is going to respond to that. And then no one's going to respond. Or they're all going to respond. And it's going to become a really messy email thread, and they're going to be overlapping each other. It looks unprofessional. Email them separately. And do not let your parents email. That's a big one. Take control of your own recruiting process. You look really, really, really unprofessional and not prepared for college if you're letting your parents reach out to coaches on your behalf. Next, I already kind of mentioned this, make a spreadsheet, keep notes of conversations, and just know that in this process, it's not easy. You have to do the work. Unless you're a top 5 recruit, and if you're a top 5 recruit, I'm kind of expecting that you're not watching this video because you have coaches calling you. But if you're not in the top 5 might be a stretch. If you're not in the top 25 in the nation for your event, you most likely will not have coaches, at least at the caliber of schools that you want, calling you. Like in my case, I peaked out. I ran 155 in high school. I'm just going to finish this. I ran 155.11 in high school in the 800, which was a solid time, but now due to trackflation, that's not great. At my peak, I was, I think, the top 60 in the nation. And I did have schools reaching out to me, but no Power 4 schools. I would have a few mid-major. I'd be lucky if a mid-major D1 reached out to me. A bunch of D2s, especially in the area around me, reached out to me. But if you want to go to a school that feels above your caliber or at your caliber, really realistically at your caliber, if you want to go to a school that's at your caliber, you have to do the work yourself. You have to reach out. They're not going to come find you. Next, let's talk about how the NCAA is changing, and it is a bloodbath. And like I said, I think we've cut our team down to like 29 people. It's ridiculous. It's a miracle that I'm still here. I mean, in the end, it's a business, though. And you need to know this goes in the recruiting process, but also this goes through your entire college career. I just experienced it this year with the training room situation, where I wasn't really getting the attention that I needed in the training room, and an injury that could have been resolved in just a few days if I had gotten the right treatment ended up taking a few weeks, and had me out actually for the injury that I had mentioned all the time about this year. Anyway, so yeah, remember it's your life. To you, the college that you choose is going to set the path for your entire life to come. It's going to be the friends you meet. It's going to be the degree that you get. It's going to be the chances that you have of going professional. It's a big decision. I don't want to scare you, but it's a big decision. I'll help you make the decision a little more in a second. But remember that it's your whole life, and to them, you're just a single athlete. To them, you're replaceable. Again, unless they're reaching out to you, unless you're going kind of lower than your caliber, and you really will be the best on the team as a freshman and scoring at conference as a freshman and whatnot, to them, you're just another athlete. You're completely replaceable. And you need to remember that. Sometimes you need to push them a little bit. You need to, if you send an email and they don't respond, or they kind of blow off your email, they say, yeah, I'll get to it, whatever, send a follow-up. Send a follow-up. I promise you they get millions of emails. They're going to understand. It's your life. To them, you're just an athlete. Take control of it. Then, yeah, it is getting a lot harder to go Division I, especially go Power 4. Roster limits, obviously, are a thing. The men's roster limit, I think the roster limit for both sides across the nation is 45 on track and 17 in cross country. Those are not mutually exclusive, I don't know how that word works. If you run cross and track, you take up a roster spot on both. So realistically, not a lot of teams just have cross country only athletes, so you just consider it a 45-person limit across the whole track team. And in the SEC, it's a 35-person limit on the men's side because of Title IX. But yeah, that's just leading to more competition. There's no more monetary restrictions on these teams. They can directly pay athletes. They can give full scholarships to as many athletes as they want, given they have the money, which means they're going to be going overseas a lot more to bring in a lot more athletes who are 24, 25, 26, up to 30 years old, who are performing really, really well because they're damn near professionals. And that makes it a lot harder for high school kids who are not proven to get recruited. Trackflation obviously is a thing that people are just getting ridiculously fast. What I ran in high school would have no shot at a Power 4 nowadays. I hate to break it to you. And there's also the possibility of yearly cuts. If you're not performing at a school, especially a Power 4 school, where there's that roster limit, or at any Division I school, I think has their roster limit. But if you're at a school that has that roster limit and they have dispensable money, if you're not performing, they're gonna go get that 24, 25, 26-year-old who is performing. It could be like they did cuts at the end of this year. We cut at like 10 people at least. I don't even know the number on the men's track team alone. And that's going to happen every year. If you're not performing, you're gone. And they're going to bring in someone new to replace you who is performing. And yeah, the last thing I want to mention is because it is a business and because it is a competition between you and your teammates at the end at the Division I level to not get cut, you might want to look into Division II. 100% honest. I was with Brock last weekend. We talked about this for a good hour about how the landscape is completely shifting in the NCAA. And at Division II, you still have what used to be the Division I landscape, where you are best friends with your team. You guys are making pancakes and eggs after your long run every Saturday. Like, you're all close together. Your brothers toeing the line. At Division I, there is some of that, but there is also it's all competition. You are trying to beat out your teammate constantly, because you don't want to get cut. You don't want to be gone. And you want the scholarship money that's available, and if you beat them out, you might earn more scholarship money. There are so many underlying reasons for why you and your teammates are never going to be best of friends, or it's rare, it's possible. I'm pretty close to friends with a lot of my teammates, but it's still not quite like high school where we were best friends and towing the line together and I would have taken a bullet for them. Like, that still exists at the Division II level, at the NAIA level, at the Division III level, at the JUCO level, I'm sure. It's hard to find at the Division I level. So I would keep that in mind if that's something really important that you're looking for. I bet my laundry is done now because I talked for a lot longer than I thought I was going to, and I'm leaving the state in 2 hours. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being a member. And, well, you already subscribed. So